Hi, my name is Hirsch. My fiance and I just went through the couples match process. I was at the University of Miami and I matched at NYU for neurology. She was at the University of Vermont and she matched at Cornell for anesthesiology. And while we got her number one, everything worked out perfectly. We don't think the journey was smooth whatsoever. And throughout the journey, we had a bunch of realizations that whenever we told them to other people, it really helped them with their match list. And so we wanted to create a tool that would help every couple make their match list in a way that's much more objective and it allows them to actually see different variations and better explain why they feel the way that they did and try to get this optimal match list. And the final screen that you'll get to is kind of like this. It'll spit out different scores. It'll give you things. You can look at maps to see actually what the actual commute looks like, things of that nature. But maybe let me just walk you through the process first. So here we'll just do a quick case study with Michael and Sarah. Michael applied into EM, Sarah applied into general surgery. Here you'll see a priority setting. Priority isn't that one person's more important. It's purely just some specialties may be more competitive, or one person may feel like they'll accomplish their goals no matter where they go, where the other person really feels like if they go to the top programs, they're more likely to accomplish their goals. And so you can adjust this. Here you have the programs, and it's very easy to to make your list. And one thing you'll notice pretty quickly is that we don't just have ranks here, we also have tiers. And the reason we have tiers is we learned that oftentimes the difference between your first and second or your second and third is not the same. Sometimes it feels like maybe your first two programs feel like their own tier. You like them equally the same. Maybe you like one a little more than two. But maybe two you like way more than three. And three you like way more than four and five. And so the tiers brings a little bit of nuance for you to better explain why you like a particular program more to your partner. And it's really hard because your partner wasn't at the interview. They don't know everything that you know about it. And a lot of these things, you can't even explain that well. But the tier system helps you kind of bring that nuance to the conversation. Once you add your rank list, then you have distance. So here we have a couple of things. First, you have the distance settings. The first is the kind of daily commute time. So maybe this is the time that you're okay, or amount of miles between the two programs that you're okay with commuting. So for 20, it would be maybe you live in the middle, it's 10 miles for both people. You have the second category that you can ask. And the point of this high penalty is just we have an algorithm that adjusts your score based on the mileage and the commute times. And so that's the first thing. Then you have distance levels. I absolutely love distance levels, not necessarily for the top of your list, but more for the bottom, because you have to get to 300 permutations one way or another. And we realize that after the top of the list, you're not that passionate about it. You just want to be in situations where you'll have less pain when it comes to seeing each other. So the way we have it is level 1, you're living together. Level 2 is close cities, you'll see each other weekly, maybe even a little more. Level 3 is a direct distance flight, so maybe a Boston to New York or a Chicago to New York. It's very easy, multiple flights. You could get on that flight very quickly if you wanted to, but it would be pretty hard to do every week. Then level 4 is multiple flights, like monthly visits. This is like a Denver to New York or a California to New York. It would be really hard, and just the sheer amount of time discourages these visits because it's hard to get that time off. And then lastly, 5 is just like extremely difficult situations. And the algorithm that we have set right now, based on distance, will be set the distance level for most of them, but we encourage you to actually go through and just double check that you agree with them. And anyone that is unset or not set, you can actually set it yourself. And then once you're here, you can see your rank list. And so once you generate rank list, this is where all the magic happens. If you want to see more details, you can hit show details and you can see everything here. So you'll have not only your rank, but also the tier, where it is on your list, where it is on your partner's list, both for tier and the rank, and then it'll assign a score as well as distance. It's important to notice distance here is kind of as the crow flies. So if you want to look on a map, you can click the map icon and it'll actually pull it up for any combination. So for example, if you want to look at USC to UCLA's, you can actually see what the commute looks like. So even though it's only 10 miles, it's still 30 minutes of a commute. So these things can be important whenever you're actually trying to figure out what your rank list is. And if you want to move things, you can always move it and it will mark it as well. And so you have that. Now, The other thing I wanted to show you that I think is super cool is the algorithm settings, because we're building this based on different weights and penalties that we're giving to either the tier you assigned or the rank you assigned or the distance importance. So distance importance is the higher the score, the more important it is for you to be closer together. So if you raise this, it'll adjust the scores accordingly. And if you lower it, then it'll adjust it more. And oftentimes you'll see this between levels. So whenever here right now, you can see all the level ones are together, then you start having level twos. But if you start adjusting the rank weight way higher and the distance level importance to be super low, then you'll actually start intermingling between the various levels. Maybe it's okay for you to go to a level 2 distance just for you guys to be at programs that you really love. So you have this option. And one of the best features of this is just you can create unlimited what if situations where anyone that has gone through the couples match knows that you don't have a singular rank list. You make 10 different ones. You're constantly updating it. Oh, maybe this, maybe it'll be okay if we commute this much. And it's important to have that level of granularity to it, but you want to be able to save it. So if you want to save this list and all the settings that come with it, you can just hit save list and you can save it as, version 23. We'll just save it 23. And if you try to put in a version that you already have, it'll tell you to change the name. The other thing you want to play around with is if you see something that maybe you think could be a little higher up. So for example, here we see UC Irvine and Cedars-Sinai. It's 34 miles apart, which honestly, maybe you could live in the middle of it. Not completely unreasonable. If you want to pull it up, you can see, it's an hour and 20 minutes, during this time. So maybe that's a little hard, but let's say you really love those and, it's tier 3, tier 2. You feel like it deserves a fighting shot above, maybe a tier 2, tier 4, and a 3rd and 6th rank program. Then what you can do is you can go to distance and you can change your mileage. So if you want to change this to 50, maybe you want to change this to 50 as well. You can update the page. The other important factor is you want to come and you want to see that you adjust this, right? So right now it's showing it as level 2 where it's in close cities. But if you change it to level 1 where it's the same city, you update the page, you can go see your rank list. Here, the score probably jumped quite a bit. And so here, before it was closer to 17, now it's up to 39. So the score has jumped, and it's arguably the same score as this combination as well. And so playing with the different settings allows you to create all these different rank lists, all these different possibilities. And honestly, the best part is it's just way more objective because now you have a score. It's not, me choosing this program is way better for me and it'll hurt you because you'll go to a less good of a program or a program you like less. And so this is really fantastic. Last couple features I just want to highlight that I found really helpful is exporting it as a CSV so that if you want to play around with it on your own, you totally can. Downloading the PDF report is also fantastic. It makes this really great PDF where it'll show your rank list, your partner's rank list, and then the combined rank list as is. And you can share that with mentors. And oftentimes, a good conversation with a mentor goes a long way. And so between exporting it, PDF, adjusting the algorithm, saving various lists. If you want to see where your lists are, you can just go to Save Lists, and it'll show it right there. And then here, the single match option for anyone that hasn't gone through this process is, do you want to have possibilities where one of you doesn't match? And this is always a conversation to have. I know people that did it both ways, but it will actually put that person's rank list and then the other person's rank list in that order. And so it just gives you a more complete rank list. So this is kind of what the couples match tool looks like. If you have any questions, email me at hvmeras@gmail.com. And I'm happy to try to help in any way possible. My goal is to try to help as many couples as possible because I know how hard it was. And so I hope this makes your journey a lot easier.